Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video we're going to talk about Massachusetts taking the lead. And here's what you need to know about the textile and mattress waste ban that goes into effect November 1st. This is Boston.com. Here's Boston's news station. Massachusetts bans disposal of clothing, shoes, and bedding. And this was a November 1st article, along with this October 31st article. You won't be able to throw out mattresses, textiles in Massachusetts starting November 1st. And this is another, it looks like News W, so it's a news station, 89.7. It's now illegal in Mass to throw out used jeans and worn out socks. And it sounds good. And I mean, actually, it is good. I'm about this, but one scary thing here is right here. But don't worry, police aren't going to break down your door if you slip up and throw out your skinny jeans. Yeah, the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection, which oversees waste disposal, says it targets major offenders of waste bans, not individuals. Well, I'll tell you one thing. As soon as you give individuals a pass, okay, individuals then are your major offenders. Okay, individuals are the population in Massachusetts. And so what? I mean, they're going to go after hotels. If hotels throw out old mattresses that they're getting rid of, as opposed to a person. So their approach is to go out and conduct inspections of solid waste facilities and to identify loads of trash that have large amounts of banned material, and then look to identify where that's coming from and take enforcement of that, says John Fishers, the DEP's deputy division director. And so, I mean, it's a good idea. I'm happy somebody's starting to do something about this. You know, if we just lived responsibly, people would have been doing this for a long time. So let's see what these articles say. It says banned items will now include bedding, clothing, curtains, fabric, footwear, towels, and similar items, textiles containing mold, bodily fluids, insects, oil, or hazardous substance are exempt from the ban. It says all sizes of mattresses are included in the ban, but notably, the mattress ban does not include mattress pads and toppers, sleeping bags, pillows, car beds, strollers, playpens, infant carriers, water beds, air mattresses, and mattress from futon and sofa beds. But according to the Massachusetts DEP, Department of Environmental, what do we say, Protection? Yep, protection. Massachusetts residents and businesses throw out approximately 230 tons of textiles each year. These materials account for about 5% of the waste that makes it to incinerators and landfills. So they're addressing about 5% of the problem that's making it to incinerators and landfills. You know what's another huge percent of the problem? That the Boston mayor is not addressing ending our disposable society. And I know that because I've been sending the Boston mayor, who is part of the Kennedy Center, hosting the Earthshot Prize awards in December. Now, all three of those prevent the light years best environmental education and agenda the world needs, but they're going to go out and pretend like they care for doing Mickey Mouse action. And, you know, disposable is a huge percent of the waste problem. And right now, they are addressing about 5% of the waste that makes it to incinerators and landfills. And I am for this action, but I'm just saying this is the minimal they could be doing, while Boston is not telling you what it is they won't do, just like everybody else. Okay. It says mattresses pose a problem. More than 600,000 mattresses and box springs are thrown away each year in Massachusetts. They are expensive to transport, hard to compact, take up lots of landfill space, and can damage incinerator processing equipment. The Mass DEP says about 85% of disposed textiles could be donated, reused, or recycled, while more than 75% of mattress components can be reused or recycled. And yeah, we definitely need to do that. They say they have many businesses that sort, reuse, upcycle, or convert used textiles into new products. It has many charities and businesses that resell clothes, mattresses, and other textiles. So, a lot of people donate to thrift stores and the Goodwill and everything. But right, I mean, people just throw out. I see people. I have to stop myself from screaming at them. I don't talk to anyone one on one. I don't lecture. I don't rant. I don't give you the evil eye if you're using a disposable product, because if I can get to the world, I can actually give the solutions the world needs to the world one on one. It just makes you have no friends. But I watch people throw out. I watch them throw out a whole new bag of food. Well, Kenny, oh, well, we haven't eaten that. Oh, well, yeah, God, it's a couple months old. I'm like, somebody at your food bank, that family would love that bag. It is insane what Americans just throw out. Just, well, we'll just throw it out. We'll just throw it out. And now this is making it a little harder on people to throw out because, as the article said, they're not going after individuals yet. That right there is the golden ticket for individuals to be the biggest abusers of this program and just, oh, I don't know how three perfectly good pair of jeans just got thrown into I don't know how. That must have been a mistake. I mean, they can identify you. Everything you throw out in your trash has your DNA on it. But it says recycling fibers saves natural resources, reduces carbon emissions by using existing materials instead of creating more. Um, it says, contrary to popular belief, textile donation in almost any condition are welcome by most textile collectors. This includes items with stains, ripped, missing buttons, or broken zippers. And that's because right here, textiles are valuable. Items that don't sell in a thrift store are baled and sold to brokers who sell to overseas markets where they are repaired and resold, sold to companies that make industrial wiping cloths, or sold to fiber converters who make them into things like insulation, carpet padding, or soundproofing materials. Okay, but you can't donate anything which is wet, moldy, or contaminated with oil or hazardous substances. But right here, let's get back to this paragraph. Sold to overseas markets. This GBH article here says not everyone wants those exports. Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya announced a ban on the imports of used clothing in 2019, saying the imports hurt domestic clothing industries. So a lot of these countries don't want our waste. Okay, Trade Group for the Industries exporting that clothing from the U.S. have fought those bans. Well, of course, because just take our trash. And it's not just foreign countries. This same article says right now in Massachusetts, we're exporting 2 million tons of solid waste to other states. More than half of the trash disposed of in New Hampshire is Massachusetts trash. So, it's convenient. It's right there. It's right over the border. It has more open space probably. And New Hampshire is Massachusetts' disposal site. So it's not just overseas, which it isn't wanting our trash anymore. Okay. And New Hampshire's going to get to the point where they don't want it either. But right here it says for a mattress to be recycled, it must be made of metals, textiles, wood, and or foam. It must be free and dry and free of mold. It says that recycled mattresses are inspected and treated for bed bugs before being cut open and deconstructed. Well, that's nice, but kind of one scary thing about beds is, if you have a traditional mattress, they say that 10 years later, that mattress has doubled its weight just because of the amount of dust mites that live in your mattress, in your pillow. They eat dead human skin. And it said that after 10 years, a mattress will double its weight from the amount of dust mites, dead dust mites, and all of their droppings that live in your mattress. Okay, so yeah, recycling mattresses, they need to go through some type of very detailed deconstruction and decontamination. I would think, mattresses they get pretty ugly when they get older. But materials sent for recycle are turned into things such as industrial padding or shredded wood mulch. So I mean, yes, all of this material is just it's just either still good, another person's treasure, or its components are good. Okay, it has a stain on it, but the rest of the product is good, right? That can be turned into so much. The buttons can be reused. They can be taken off. There's a lot of components to all of these clothing that can be reused. And a bunch of these articles, they kind of say a lot of the same things, but right here they say that we have a very limited disposal capacity in Massachusetts and throughout the northeast part of the country. So they're just looking to have less of it, and they're making it easy for people to drop things at recycle bins and donation bins, and just they're trying to be responsible. And I think that Massachusetts is making a good move here, and I'm sure many other states are going to follow. Let's just see if this has anything interesting. Oh, right here. It says the Mass DEP first rolled out bans on certain type of garbage in 1990. There are now over a dozen categories of trash people aren't allowed to throw out, including asphalt pavement, glass and metal containers, lead acid batteries, yard waste, recyclable paper, and more. So yeah, they've started doing some of this. That's 3 decades ago, and it certainly isn't enough. And I'm sure that there is a lot of individuals which aren't going along with those bans too. If you opened up trash, I'm sure a lot of those things are in there because how am I going to get caught? It's no big deal. So this article also says the new regulations also lower the ban limits on food waste for institutions creating more than a half ton each week. And let me tell you, it is long overdue for somebody to do something about food waste, not just in homes, which the state of the economy is going to finally do something about that now. People are not going to be throwing out unused food. But restaurants, being in the tourist industry, I've worked in too many restaurants, and it is sad, just the amount of food that gets thrown out every single night. It's just it's unbelievable. And I worked at a catering at Montana State University in Bozeman for 2 months till, yeah, they're like, so you've been in the president's living room and the president won't lead the world environmentally and we operate the disposable concessions that you're trying to get her to not have and lead the world with reusable. And, I would serve meetings where, I mean, they would even bring in people from foreign countries who, oh my God, we need solutions. And I'd be like, here, I mean, I'm trying to get the job I want, not just a job with benefits, but yeah, that lasted 2 months because it doesn't go over when you and the president and you literally, even though you don't talk to her, you literally see the president at least 3 times a week, serving her endless meetings and lunches and dinners that she's at. So yeah, that didn't last long, but I've tried to lead the world environmentally from Montana State University, and they won't allow it. And when I was in their catering department for 2 months, they're ridiculous, not worth her salary, not worth her title, not worth the pollution. She admits, I think it's she admits, coming to work every day, decided to start composting the waste that just the catering department, put out. And I mean, it's ridiculous because time and time and time again, they were throwing out at least half the food they delivered. So, they deliver twice as much as needs to go out the door every day. And I was saying, well, why don't we not compost and why don't we just start delivering so that we don't have all of this composting. And that, of course, was just as horrible an idea as the university leading with reusable stadium concessions and so much more. But food waste is major. It's just, it's it's horrendous. And it's not just the food that's being wasted. It's all the packaging it came in, all the transportation packaging it came in, all of the trucks, all of the gas, the oil changes, all of the tire changes, all of the maintenance, all of the wiper, on and on and on and on of what it takes to transport food for then people to throw out. And now that gets put in plastic bags, more things being produced and transported and packaging and transportation packaging and now going through a whole disposal cycle because we abuse. So, food waste, definitely. I'm sure their ban isn't low enough. They lowered the limit. I'm sure it's not low enough. Okay. But the mayor of Boston isn't interested in talking to me and doing real things too, like even leading with reusable concessions that their universities and their sports stadiums can lead with. But right now, in Massachusetts, they have taken the lead. It seems. I don't know of any other state that has a ban like this, and this is good. It's a step in the right direction. It's a very small step, as these articles say. It's a 5% step of what gets into landfills. So I'm sure this will catch on, and it certainly needs to expand and address 100% of what gets put into landfills. So we don't have landfills, and a lot of that can happen simply from people living responsibly and not creating trash. It's very, very simple. So stay tuned, people.